Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 2nd January 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, all of you please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing the cost of the training is over 8,000 US dollars. It is a complete free training. All the training lessons can be accessible at our NeoStock YouTube channel. At our channel homepage, please click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on the tab. You get access to our free training course. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into the playlist Supply Demand Zone Price Action course. Here you have all the training lessons are available. You just need to scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here starting from lesson 1.1. All the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one and strengthen your skills related to supply demand zone price action. I have also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. Please join at our Telegram channel. It will be helpful to you. Now let's get into the report generation. First I am starting with finding the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames, starting with quarterly time frame. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. We got only 2 stocks. I am giving you only few seconds time. So I request you pause the video, study the report, and then you can further proceed with the next reports. In case if you don't understand how to study the structure of this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next quarterly time frame, stocks near quarterly supply zone. 5 stocks are filtered. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. 5 stocks are filtered. Next monthly time frame, stocks near monthly supply zone. 7 stocks are filtered. Next monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly demand zone, but these monthly demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at monthly time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That indicates pierced count should be 0. Pierced count 0 means the zone is not pierced. Let's filter the stocks. So first 19 stocks in this list where price closed inside the monthly demand zone. I am scrolling the list down. So 30 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the monthly demand zone. And these 30 stocks we can further filter by adding the high probability parameter monthly EMA Confluence. So I am going back and selecting the parameter EMA Confluence. At monthly time frame, I am selecting monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence. MEMAC means monthly EMA Confluence. But remember, EMA Confluence does not add any advantage in sideways market. That's why you should not select the stocks having sideways trend. So in the trend at monthly time frame, I am selecting only up or down, that is trending market, but not a sideways market. Let's filter. Now 14 stocks are filtered. These 14 monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence. Okay. Next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly supply zone. These monthly supply zones should not be pierced. So at pierced count, monthly time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Let's filter the stocks. We got 5 stocks. Currently price closed inside these 5 monthly supply zones. Let's verify any of these monthly supply zones are having a EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence at monthly time frame, I am selecting the parameter monthly supply zone having monthly EMA Confluence. Of course, the trend should not be sideways on monthly, so I am selecting either up or down. So we don't have any monthly supply zones having monthly EMA Confluence. Okay, the next time frame is a weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 14 stocks. Next, weekly time frame. Stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 13 stocks. Next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone. These weekly demand zones should not be pierced. So weekly time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Let's filter. So these are the stocks. First 16 stocks where price closed inside the weekly demand zone. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone. I am scrolling the list down. So total 48 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We can further filter based on the weekly EMA Confluence. For these 48 stocks, let us apply EMA Confluence filter at weekly time frame. I am selecting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence. And the trend on weekly time frame should not be sideways. So I am selecting up or down. Let's filter. See, from 48 stocks, the list is reduced to 17 stocks. These 17 stocks are having, these weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. And also current price closed inside the weekly demand zone. Okay, next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly supply zone. And these weekly supply zones should not be pierced. I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Let's filter. So again, good number of stocks are filtered. These are the first 15 stocks where price closed inside the weekly supply zone. I am scrolling the list down. So total 32 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the weekly supply zone. Out of these 32, we can further filter based on the weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence. Let us add EMA Confluence filter. So EMA Confluence at weekly time frame. This time I am selecting weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence. And the trend on weekly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Let's filter. Now the list is come down to 10 stocks. These 10 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. And also the current price closed inside those weekly supply zones. Okay, this is about weekly time frame. Next time frame is the daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks where price closed, where price is near to the daily demand zone. Price is near to the daily demand zone. Let's filter. We got 11 stocks. Let us identify the high liquidity zones from this list. First one is a peers, not valid. Atul is having a high liquidity zone. That's it. We have only one stock near to the daily demand zone. Okay, next, for daily time frame, let us find the stocks where price is near to the daily supply zone. 13 stocks are filtered. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. First one is NIFTY Reality. It is not listed in F&O. We don't have any high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. Okay, next, for daily time frame, price closed inside the daily demand zone, and these daily demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at a daily time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Let's filter. We got 12 stocks. Currently price closed in these 12 daily demand zones. Now let us identify how many of these daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence. So let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, I am selecting the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence, and these daily demand zones should not be pierced. The trend should not be sideways in the daily time frame. I am selecting up or down. Let's filter. We got 5 stocks. So these 5 daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence, and also current price closed inside the daily demand zone. Okay. Next, daily time frame. Price closed inside daily supply zone, and these daily supply zones should not be pierced. So at pierced count daily time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Let's filter. So this is the list, filtered list. First 15 stocks in the list where price closed inside the daily supply zone. I am closing the price. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 37 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the daily supply zone. Now let us identify how many of these stocks are having daily EMA Confluence. Let's add that EMA filter. In the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, I am selecting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence, and the trend on daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Let's filter the stocks. So the first 15 stocks in the list, and all these daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence. I am scrolling the list down. So total 18 stocks are filtered, and all these 18 daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence, and also the current price closed inside those daily supply zones. So this is about the daily time frame. Now let's move on to the next time frame, 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. 7 stocks are filtered. Next, 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. The first 15 stocks. Scrolling the list down. So total 21 stocks are filtered where price is near to the 125 minute supply zone. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. Only 3 stocks are filtered. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. We have only one high liquidity zone, 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone, that is Paytm. Okay. Next, 75 minutes time frame. Stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got a big list. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 24 stocks are filtered, where price near to the 75 minute supply zone. Now let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. Apollo Tyres is having a high liquidity 75 minute supply zone. Balakrishna Industries, CESC, Cholamandalam Finance, Hindustan Petroleum, MCX, Sonacoms, that's it. We have identified 7 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, this is about high liquidity zones. The next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. 7 stocks are filtered. Next 25 minutes time frame, stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. 10 stocks are filtered. Okay, next time frame is 15 minutes, stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. 4 stocks are filtered. Let's identify how many of these stocks are having ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. Out of 4, we got 2 stocks. These 2 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame. Stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Let's verify out of these 3 how many are having ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. Enable the filter. Out of 3 we got only 1 stock and it is an indices. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Let's verify how many of these 5 minutes demand zones are having ITF confluence. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this filter we got only 1 stock. So this 5 minutes demand zone is part of the 15 minutes demand, 5 minutes demand zone is part of the 15 minutes demand zone. Okay, next 5 minutes time frame. Stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. 8 stocks are filtered. Let's verify how many of these supply zones are having ITF confluence. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. Enabling the filter. With this filter we got 4 stocks. Out of these 4, third one is invalid because it is a pierced zone. Even fourth one is also invalid. It is a pierced zone. Okay. These are the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Also, we identified a daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. Now, let's generate a NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. This is a NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. They are invalid. And the LTF trend, always look into this to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Apply the same rules for the remaining reports, and also don't forget to pause the video when you are moving from one report to another report, because I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the video. Okay, next. Weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Let me scroll the list down to look for more demand zones. Okay, next 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. I am scrolling the list down to find the demand zones. All these are all supply zones. Scrolling the list down. Okay. This is a 5 minute supply demand zone chain. We have completed NIFTY supply demand zone chain. Next, let us generate BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. That is nothing but NIFTY Bank. Generating monthly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Okay, next, weekly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Okay, next, daily supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Okay, next report, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Okay, next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. So this is about the NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Next, we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. First, let's start with the monthly income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame daily. entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at daily time frame, I am selecting bullish, and these zones should not be pierced demand zones. So in the pierced count at daily time frame, entry time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhances score 12. And now all the three filters are applied to daily demand zone. Now let's filter the stocks. We got 18 stocks. Currently, these 18 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame and entry zones are daily demand zones. All these 18 stocks are having a bullish trade setup, daily demand zones as an entry time frame. Out of these 18 stocks, some of these zones are having high probability because they are high liquidity zones, daily demand zones. Apart from that, we can further filter based on the zone confluence. So two filters we will use. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is a daily and a weekly demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. Out of 18, 13 stocks are filtered. In these 13 stocks, these daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone. That is what zone confluence. Because they are part of weekly, if weekly zone is having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup. Moreover, weekly trend is up in all the stocks, that is ITF trend. So let's set that filter in the EMA confluence. Weekly time frame, because daily is part of the weekly zone. So I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 11 stocks. So these 11 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Okay, next we can further filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF, the second filter. First I have to remove this EMA filter because this is ITF specific. Now we are looking for LTF, ITF and HTF also. So in the demand zone confluence, three filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly zone confluence. Next, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. Third filter, weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got two stocks. In these two stocks, these daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone, both together again part of the monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is up in both these stocks. Because monthly trend is up and daily and weekly together are part of the monthly zone, and if the monthly demand zone is having monthly EMA confluence, those stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. Let's verify. We got one stock. So this is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at daily, I am selecting bearish, and the daily supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at daily time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhances score 12. All three filters are applied to daily supply zone. Let's verify. We got three stocks. Currently, these three stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Out of these three, some are having high liquidity zones as a high probability. And we can also further filter based on zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. Let's verify how many stocks we get. That is the daily and weekly supply zone confluence. Let's filter. We got all the three stocks. All these three stocks, these daily supply zones are part of the weekly supply zone, and weekly trend is down, ITF trend. If weekly supply zone is having weekly EMA, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. weekly supply zone with weekly EMA Confluence, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Currently Gujarat stock is near this supply zone, but it is already tested 2 times. You should carefully analyze if the order flows are there, you can plan the trades. And this stock is already inside the zone. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. But one more filter we forgot, that is LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First is already enabled, daily with weekly. Next, daily supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. Weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 1 stock. And this is near to the, this is a LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. That means daily zone is, this daily supply zone is part of the weekly, both together part of the monthly. If monthly trend is down here, so if monthly supply zone is having monthly EMA confluence, that could be even more high probability setup supported stock. Let's verify. Yes, it is filtered. So it is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. So this is about bearish trade setup for a monthly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade set at 75 minutes, I am selecting bullish. This 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0 for pierced count. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. Let's verify. We got 14 stocks. These 14 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. All these are all 75 minutes demand zones. And these 75 minutes demand zones are having some high probability based on the high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we can also further filter based on the zone confluence. So first filter in the zone confluence is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this filter, out of 16 stocks, we got 10 stocks. In all these 10 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zone. And daily trend is uptrend in all these stocks. If daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, those stocks could be even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So in the EMA and daily time frame, I am selecting the filter daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence. We got 6 stocks. So these 6 daily demand zones are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Nifty 50 also having a demand zone, 75 minutes demand zone, which is part of the daily demand zone. Okay, this is based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence and EMA confluence. Next, let us filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF zone confluence. I removed EMA filter. In the in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter 75 minutes demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. Third filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all these 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF confluence, we got 7 stocks. In these 7 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zone. Again, both together part of the weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is up in some of these stocks. If those stocks are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So let us verify. In the EMA confluence, at a weekly time frame, Why weekly? Because 75 and daily together part of the weekly demand zone. So weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got 4 stocks. In all these 4 stocks, first one it does not give any extra advantage because it is a sideways trend, but remaining 3 are uptrend. So these 3 second, third and fourth stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes I am selecting bearish, and the 75-minute supply zone should not be pierced. So minimum value I am setting 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75-minute supply zone. Let's verify. We got 10 stocks. So these 10 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Out of these 10, there are some high probability setup supported stocks based on the high liquidity supply zones. Apart from that, we can also further filter based on the supply zone confluence. First, let us filter based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. Now let's verify how many we get. We got 8 stocks. These 8 stocks, in these 8 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in all these stocks. If those daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, there could be even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone with daily EMA confluence. Let's filter. We got 6 stocks. These 6 stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Okay, next, let us further filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled. Second filter, 75-minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Next, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 3 stocks. Out of these 3, few are having high liquidity supply zones. They are high probability supported zones, but we can also further filter based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. We can further filter based on the EMA confluence, because these are already having LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes daily and weekly. So in the EMA confluence at weekly time frame, why weekly? Because 75-minute zone is part of daily zone, both together part of the weekly zone. So weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 stocks trend is also downtrend. They are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Moreover, those zones are already high liquidity zones. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, we will look for bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. These 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. We got 17 stocks. And all these 15 minutes demand zones are currently supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Out of these 17, 15 minutes demand zones, some are already high probability zones based on the high liquidity zones. But we can also further filter them based on Zone Confluence. So first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. Now the list is come down to 11. In all these 11 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up in all these stocks. If any of these 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at 75 minutes time frame, 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence, with this filter we got only one stock. So this is a high probability trade setup supported stock. So already tested 2 times. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone, demand zone confluence. So I am removing this EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. Third filter, 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again part of the daily demand zone. And the daily trend is up in one stock, in this second stock. If it is having daily EMA confluence, this could be even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence filter is enabled. And we got this Polybazar. This is having a uptrend and also having EMA confluence, daily EMA confluence. This is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Because this 15 minute zone is part of the 75, both together part of daily. The daily zone is having daily EMA confluence. Okay, next let us look for bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. These 15 minute supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 15 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes supply zone. Let's filter the stocks. We got 5 stocks, including Nifty Bank. And these 5 supply zones are supporting bearish trade setup, daily income trade. And all these entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. In these 15 minute supply zones, some could be high liquidity zones, but we can again further filter them based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence to find high probability setup zones. So first filter is LTF, ITF demands supply zone confluence, that is 15 minutes, and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. I enable the filter. Now all 5 stocks are filtered. That means in all these 5 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is down in all these stocks. That is ITF trend. So if these 75 minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, they could be even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So I am enabling the filter, 75 minute supply zone with daily EMA confluence. We got 1 stock. So this is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. It is already tested 2 times. Okay, next let us filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. So LTF, ITF, HTF, supply zone confluence. First filter is already enabled. Second filter 15-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter 75-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all these three filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, supply zone confluence, we got only one stock. So this 15 minutes supply zone is part of the 75-minute supply zone, both together part of the daily supply zone. And daily trend is sideways, so no need to look for EMA Confluence, because EMA Confluence does not add any advantage in sideways trend. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there you please pause the video. After that you can proceed further. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.